Good morning, good morning. Heading to a customer site for early 8 o'clock appointment because it seems like their emails have taken up too much space on the drive. So I'm gonna go out there and delete stuff. So I wanted to follow up the video I just uploaded a moment ago and talking about, I guess, the plan for comeback, plan going forward. I haven't fully developed this yet. I have to develop it for the meeting I'm having with my partners tomorrow. And what we're gonna be what I'm looking at. Ooh, back up a little bit. What I'm looking at is how I can make improvements to the business or to our situation of selling the products that we have or product that we have, which are the chairs. So being very product focused in terms of what we need to do and how we're going to do it moving forward, and saying, hey, this is all we should be focusing on. We should not be focusing on anything else. We should be cutting, certain things out of our view and just be laser focused on this to put ourselves in a better situation. Getting rid of some of the fluff and getting rid of some of the other things that we're doing. So, with that being said, what's it called? The way I'm moving now, one thing I did, and I mentioned this in the last video, was just affiliate marketing. So, working with people that work in our business, our industry, such as vendors and other professionals, so they can get the word out about what we're doing, what we have available, and thinking not really even out of the box, but just actually thinking and actually saying, all right, cool, this is what's happening, and I need to make this go happen for me. Oh my God, I love that. I love the new Chevy Silverados. They got the Trail Boss trim, which is super nice. But thinking about how we can market ourselves and get the word out there about what we're doing. So one thing I came up with is the affiliate marketing. So going around to different stores and places and letting people know that, hey, we have a space available, we have movement specials available, so on and so forth. So it so happens I was at the shop yesterday or last night, and I was thinking about what's going on and everything like that, coming up with a plan. And somebody came in, and he actually sells clippers to some of the barbers. And I just pulled him aside and I was like, hey, listen, can I talk to you? And one thing led to another, and we're talking about some of the things that he does. He was like, yeah, I just posted this on my WhatsApp a couple minutes ago. I didn't think about even advertising through WhatsApp. A lot of people use it. WhatsApp has a status. A lot of people do Facebook and things like that, but you can do WhatsApp. And that's in their hand, and it's a message to a certain extent. So for those people that actually check the status page, that's how I crush bugs on the windshield. The inside of the windshield is nasty. So when you look at the status section of WhatsApp, you'll see people's statuses, they're posting about their vacations or what have you. But this guy, he posts about business. Hey, these desks are for sale. These chairs are for sale. In this case, Top Cut is looking for barbers and stylists and things like that. So that was pretty cool, and that really is gonna, I think it's gonna work out fairly well for. Hopefully, think it's gonna work out fairly well for us. So that's something where he's going to get that information in that he has access, or he has the eyes of 1,000 barbers and stylists and so on and so forth. So I call my business partner, Renat. I said, yo, Renat, I need you to make an ad. I need you to make it by tomorrow. He's like, nah, man, I'll make it here tonight. A couple minutes later, Renat has an ad in front of me with the information on it. And I work out the deal with the guy to give him a little commission off of that. Again, I went over this in any other video, but I want to expand on my way of thinking in that. The biggest thing is sitting back and thinking and calming down and saying, all right, looking at your situation and not looking at it in terms of despair, but looking at it in terms of, okay, how can I make it out of this? How can I make this situation better? In the last video, I talked about long and short term, bad and good. And when you're looking at long and short term, bad and good, you start to see where your deficiencies are, where your deficiencies will be, and then where your good points are and where your good points can be over time. So, and so it makes me think like, okay, how the hell can I get my stuff out there? And I was like, you know, and it just, the guy just came in and we just started talking and we started going over things. Also talking with current tenants. So we have some tenants that are late on rent. Instead of just getting on top of them and saying, hey man, where's my shit? Where's my money? Give me my money or get the fuck out. You know, you just say something like, I went to one of the ladies and she was the one that was going to evict and she paid up. And then I told her straight up, I was like, listen, ma'am, what can we do to put you in a better position? And she was like, you know, it was just a quick conversation, walking her to her car, didn't want to hold her long or anything like that. But she does great work. But she's like, Mike, I've been doing hair for 33 years. I've been doing hair for 2 generations. Now I got to start tapping into the 3rd generation. And that's going to take some time. And I said, okay. I mean, you know, I understand that. And we're here to work with you. And again, this goes back into another portion of our plan, which is retain tenants at all costs. Again, you know, you can have, you can do things like, you know, allowing them to be late on the rent, working something out with them, working out, say, a payment schedule or something like that with them. But, you know, at the same time, yeah, you have to just cut your losses and say, listen, man, I'm gonna need my money or you're gonna have to get out. And they have to understand that you're not playing around with them in that shape and in that fashion. And that's kind of a hard balance to maintain, because really you can get screwed like that. And then also you just find out a lot of people aren't appreciative of your efforts. They're not appreciative of like you actually saying and coming to them and saying things like, well, excuse me, well, I want to try and work with you and try to make sure you're better or put you in a better situation. A lot of people aren't really for that. You know, a lot of people aren't gonna, they're not gonna see the beauty of that. And by the time that they do, you know, you might be in a worse situation and they might be in a worse situation. And then, you know, them coming back and saying, you know what, man, you were right, doesn't do shit for you if you're you're fucked up in the game, you know, or you're fucked up because of their deficiencies. And also your deficiencies and your inability to see your deficiencies in time to actually make corrective or take corrective measures. So, but the biggest, another thing is like, not the biggest thing, but one of the things the other side of that, the short-term good, the short-term bad, is if they do see it, what is it going to do for them and what is it going to do for you? What's it called? What is it going to do for you as well after that? How is that going to actually turn out good for you? What are they going to do for you possibly in the future? So it's kind of, you have to invest in people and you have to invest in what the people that you have around you. And that's very hard. That's very hard when you're in a situation where like you're not doing well, especially in our case, we're just not doing well enough to say, hey, this is a good business. This makes sense. We're looking at it as like, no, this business is not going to work out for us right now. And it's not, we can't possibly even survive this market, especially with some of the things that are going on. Now, again, this may change, you know, if we start getting more people in the chair. This will change once we start getting more people in the chair. But you have to get them in there. You have to do the work. You have to do all the legwork. You have to do the thinking. You have to sit down and, you know, sit down and look at the wall or lay down and look at the ceiling without falling asleep, because I've done that. So one thing, you know, well, one of the many things is that you have to weigh all these options, write them out, talk with people around you, talk to whoever might be your confidant, whether it may be your significant other, or maybe it's an elder of yours, or in some cases just YouTube if you want to express yourself and you got the chat going on and everything like that. And so I'm looking at all this and I'm thinking to myself, how can we make this happen? What do we need to do? What do we need to focus on? What are maybe some bullet points that I can look at every day? What are some things that I can actually instill in some of my business partners and say, hey, listen, start looking at this, start doing this every day. Start looking at, make a vision board or something. Put some pins on your Pinterest. Things like that. And also, don't forget the reality of our situation and what our goals are. I think goal setting and ensuring everybody knows who's accountable for what, and maintaining a clear vision of that goal is going to be extremely important in this process, in this point zone, time period that we're in. And I think it's going to be something where it'll make or break us. And as anything that's going on, even in this business, we have to adapt. And I'm doing my best to adapt, to make that, to make it all work. To make it all work in the sense of improving our current situation, and then also improving our outlook as well, because those are two different things. Your immediate situation, what you're doing and what's going on, and then your outlook in terms of your focus on the goal, your focus on what's going to happen for you and what you're going to actually be doing. So that's what I've been looking at, and that's what I've been thinking about, and I have more thinking to do, and there's more writing that I have to do as well. Also, even all of this and still juggling things like working, damn, that guy's running fast. That's a good pace. Working to ensure that we make it out of this not alive, or not just alive, but actually doing well, because I'm gonna start another business. I sell this business. The plan is, if there's money left over, put a little bit away, and and then take it from there in terms of like the path and decision I want to make. One decision could be take all this money and then maybe even move to another state, another environment. Take some of this money and take some of this money and go full-time in the business, MJ Network Solutions, and stay in Florida, which is a more viable option. These are not in any particular order. Take this money and say, okay, that business didn't work. Let me start investing in my skills, get myself more time, meaning that, I would take some time off of like just actually working, and then start another business, which would be the Growbox project, and going full-time into that and software development, and trying to roll out a product within the next, within a 6 month to a year period, where I'm saying, okay, I'm going to do MJ Network Solutions, and then focus on building software, and then that can give me like, enough, that can give me the boost I need to actually get this to where it needs to be. So those are the things that I'm looking at. Those are things I'm working on. And, I'm always focused on, hey, this didn't work out, or this is not working out as we thought or as we had hoped, is really a better way of saying it, as we had hoped. But at the same time, that's not turning me off from actually doing business. So anyways, just wanted to get that video out there in traffic. So this is fun. All right, talk to you all later. Bye.